Hello everybody and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions for the first in our series of League One prediction videos. We're a bit late to the party because of life getting in the way, and it is, as I said, it is the first predictions video of the season for us. We did actually do a season prediction video, and we did a bit of a terrible one that Tom ambushed me and filmed when we were in the pub last weekend. I don't know why he did that, but you can go and check that out. But we did also do a League One predictions video, which is unaired because of life just kind of getting in the way. But as we saw there are only 4 games this week, we thought, what a great time to start and come back with League One predictions. It shouldn't take too long. And I'm sure we'll get into what we predicted for each of the teams and for the season, even if we just flash it up on the screen quickly. But let's jump into the first game, Tom. If you could hit this video a like, it helps so much. But let's talk about Accrington Stanley versus Shrewsbury Town.
Now, see, the problem with starting with a game like this, Ian, is that you know that I have emotions tied into both of these sides. Accrington were my darlings last season. I had backed them all year to make the playoffs, and they fell away at the end of the season. I think some money exchanged hands, and they were beaten by referees, not themselves playing badly. Shrewsbury Town are the anti-football of the league, and thus I find myself happy that Stanley are only a point off the playoffs. Shrewsbury languish after 5 games in the relegation zone. And we know, Ian, that if you're in the relegation zone after 5 matches, you are getting relegated.
Certainly. There's only 41 games left.
Exactly. These are facts that we hold to be self-evident. How are you feeling about this game, Ian?
Look, Accrington have had a good start, Tom. 3 wins out of the first 5 games is great for them. They had not a great result at the weekend. They lost 2-0, but Shrewsbury did actually get their first win and their first goal, and it was worth waiting for. A fantastic overhead kick in a come-from-behind win against Gillingham, and this just shows you how they are not the side under Sam Ricketts anymore, Tom. They came from behind to win 2-1. 2 players sent off at the end of the game. 1 player for Gillingham. I imagine you haven't seen this, but a bit of a fracas between the players. Then Shrewsbury's sub-keeper gets off the bench and pins down one of the Gillingham coaches by the neck off the ground. And even,
I'm going to go to the highlights right now.
Even Steve Evans just was like looking at it and just walked to the side and was like, what the fuck? So, on and off the pitch, it's a much more exciting Shrews side, and but I think Accy will be too strong for them. They have started the season well, and I think Accy will get a 2-1 win here.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 because they're my boys. And now, Ian, newcomers to the league, Cheltenham Town host. Oh my God, they're still doing the same shit from last year, MK Dons.
Yeah, they are. The Cheltenham have been what I expected them to be, really. They're a tough side to play against. They're built on the foundation of having a good defence, and that they've had a couple of they're not a bit unapologetic in their style of load the box and get a lot of goals from set pieces and long throws. And they had a great win against Ipswich earlier on in the season. They had a good draw against Burton away last weekend. MK Dons got a win against Accy, so that was a good result. I think this one might be a draw. I'm going to go for another draw down at Warden Road. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Issa looks like he's finding a bit of form for MK Dons, so good signing for them.
Honestly, MK Dons, top scorers in the league, also almost the worst defense in the league. I mean, this is them from last season. They control the ball well, they put the ball in the back of the net, but they just have these tragic flaws. They've already had a 2-2 draw, they've had a 3-3 draw, they beat Burton, which is, unheard of and essentially illegal in these parts of town. They beat Charlton, though, they lost to Sunderland, and then that most recent draw with Bolton. You feel like if they can lock the door at the back, they're going to be an unbeatable side, but they just refuse to close the door, ever. They're always looking like they could at any moment. So, this one is going to be high scoring because them's the rules. 3-2 to the Dons.
Bolton Wanderers versus Burton Albion.
So, Bolton are coming off the 3-3 draw that I just mentioned to you. Burton Albion have continued.
I think you might have your results the wrong way around.
Was I? Was that the beginning of the season?
Yeah.
Whoops, I read them upside down.
Lost last weekend.
You are right. I read them upside down. So Burton are not coming off a 3-all draw, but they did already have one of them this season. Burton, on the other hand, have continued their fantastic form from last season. I think they're already on 9 or 10 points now. They're on 10 points. They're just on the outside looking in. I'm really excited by this Burton side. I really like the belief they've shown under Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, the kind of style of play. And I rate them this year. They're coming up against a real tough test, though, Ian, in Bolton.
Yes, Bolton are. I mean, I'm just going back to from what I've seen of some of their games. I think actually the first 2 games of the season were 3-all draws. And then the game I saw them play against Oxford, they were excellent. They were so good going forward. They just didn't quit. They didn't they never backed down at any point in the game. They just went for it, kept going for it. It made it for a really exciting watch. And I hope that's the sort of game we're going to get here. This one's actually on Monday night. And I don't think there's any international games on Monday night. So if this was on Sky, I recommend everyone getting around and watching this, because it should be a bit of a cracker, this one. And I think that this one's I think Bolton are going to get a high-scoring win here. They're going to surprise Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's side, who have been great. They've been superb. Although they did lose to Oxford in the League Cup. 3-2 to the Trotters.
I'm going to go 2-3 to the Albion. And now, Ian, before you say anything over the top of me, I just want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers, everyone who hits like, everyone who comments, everyone who subscribes. You guys are the lifeblood of the channel. If you would like to support us, we're going to try and go to as many League One fixtures as we can. We are up north now, so we're going to get to go see a lot more teams like Rotherham and stuff. So please, if you can sign up for our Patreon supporters, do. And do not forget, Grandstand Betters are a fantastic tipster website. We've been doing collabs with them for the last year. They've been sponsoring us for the last 2. They're honestly awesome at what they do. Please head over to their site. Give it a watch. They do live streams. They do predictions. They do everything you would ever want. And you know what? They're damn good at it. Because you know what they are? Professionals. You know what we are? Bias.
Little buggers we are. Little buggers.
100%. But now, Ian, it is time, and I can't believe I'm saying this, for the first time in the 2021-22 season, it's time for the main event, because AFC Wimbledon hosts Oxford United!
No need to whisper this quietly. Oxford win this game. They go top of the league! And as we've already said, 6 games in, you might as well call it, mate. Look, the great thing about having only 4 games is I can just talk to pag out the runtime about Oxford. It's a great time to be an Oxford fan, I must say. We've started the season in really good fashion. You know, we had a nice win over Lincoln, although again we played them at a nice time. By 3-1. You can see my reaction video to that up on the channel. And, you know, they sit 3rd in the league at the moment, 10 points after 5 games, which is unprecedented under Carl Thomas. Usually we're scrambling around at the bottom with only a couple of draws. Recruitment-wise, things have been really good. I mean, we lost a couple of players, but most importantly is we held on to Brannigan. We held on to Jack Stevens, despite efforts coming in to sign both of those players. Even I think Blackpool put the latest on deadline day to put in a bid, and they were quite confident they were going to get him, but Oxford turned it down for Brannigan. And we brought in some exciting players as well. Really interested to see Herbie Kane. He came in on loan from Barnsley. He's one that a lot of people are kind of excited about. He should come in and sit in that midfield really well. Youngster, we signed Ben Davis from Fulham. He's one for the future, but we've seen, along with like McNally, that we are quite good at signing these young players and bringing them through, because despite he's looked really good, his red card against Cambridge in a 4-1 defeat in the Peterborough Champion. Aye. Well, apart from that,
enough said.
He has looked pretty good. And the other players that have come in, talked about them, is like Seddon has looked great at left back, filling in for Ruffles quite lightly. That's probably the only part of the squad we do look quite weak. And Thornley's looked brilliant coming in to replace Rob Atkinson. Oxford just looked really strong. The wide players they've got, we've just got a lot of, rather than last year we had a lot of players that were quite lightweight or new to the league, we seem to have signed a few more quite experienced players. The likes of James Henry started the season really well, with a brilliant hat-trick last weekend. Taylor's looking sharp, just needs to get in amongst the goals. All things looking pretty rosy in the Oxford Garden at the moment, Tom, but they are coming up against a bit of a bugger of a side in Wimbledon who love to just throw the form book out the window, and they've already shown this season that they're a tough side to beat with a good battle. They were 2-0 down last game and they came back to draw 2-2. I think that was, just going to look at that was against. It was quite a notable.
They did draw 3-0 with Bolton, and they've drawn 3-0 with Bolton as well.
So they were 2-0 down against Ipswich, and they came back to get a 2-2 draw in that one. And we know from last season when we played them away that they will turn the game around quite quickly. And then once they're in the lead, they're a very, very hard side to beat and a hard side to stop. So it should be a good one. Looking forward to it. I'm confident Oxford can get their first away win of the season. I do think we'll concede, though. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Oxford United victory.
Now, Ian, last season, I beat you in League One predictions. I beat you in Premier League predictions, which just means you still owe me dinner. But most importantly,
we can go back to the whole. I don't think I've won a single predictions in the whole history, apart from the very first World Cup predictions, which I won on a penalty shoot.
True. So my question to you now is, are we doing this again this year?
Look,
or not? Because I just need to know, because if we're not, prepare for some ridiculous score predictions.
Well, we're doing this now, live on camera.
We're doing it! We're doing it for real, but you know what? I loved that the last, a year and a half of predictions for Oxford was they're going to lose until the playoffs. So I'm going to continue that, because every time I do that, they make the playoffs. So, as always at the beginning of the season, yellows are garbage, yellows are trash, boo Oxford, 3-2 to Wimbledon.
All the little things about Carl Robinson, right, is like when things are going right, you just can't help but love the guy. It's just really just trying. He came on and he did an interview before the Cambridge game, and it was 2 minutes of honestly pretty much this. He's so charismatic the way he delivers it. You just can't help but like him, and he's just got this ability of winning people. I don't think he's a snake oil salesman, isn't he? He's got this ability of winning people over, and when things are going well under him, it seems like it's everything seems very, very good to watch and enjoyable. So long may that continue.
Long may it continue. And that is it for this week. Only 4 matches. Thank you for watching. Please hit like, smash subscribe, go over to Grandstand Betters, check them out, sign up for our Patreon and support us as we attempt to travel to every ground in the north. Also, please comment below. Everything you put will let through unless it's really rude, in which case I may cry, and it's up to Ian as to whether it gets through the filter. We love you all. We will see you for the next round of League One Predictions.